Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic.
All right,
check.
let's do this. I got my talking points. So we got Ruba Ali in the building. Ruba,
Hello, Max.
why do you train so hard? Why do you work out so hard?
Well, that's a great question. I always get asked, "What am I training for? Is it a competition?"
That's what I had in mind. What are you training for?
Yeah, great question. So, when I first got into fitness, it was always more so of therapy for me, and so the challenge of, working on your weakness and improving that and making it into your strength is always something that drew me back to training so hard. And so I think that I just truly enjoy it. It's just the space for me to, get in tune with my thoughts, work on my weaknesses, and just evolve constantly.
I feel the same way about exercise. It's very therapeutic. So like you said it was therapy for me. What did you feel like you needed therapy for or from?
So when I was about 14 years old, that's when I started really working out. I remember I tried out for the track team, and I was so horrible. I got rejected multiple times. And so for me, I didn't just want that to be the end result of me not being active. And so I had to find an outlet. And that's when I discovered the gym. I actually went to an all-females gym the first time ever. It was called Lucille Roberts back in the day. And so I started going, and, anyone who's experienced rejection, their confidence levels are low, right? Like you feel weak. And, it was in my hands at that age. It's like, all right, I'm not going to let this defeat me. I'm going to train myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to figure it out, but I'm not going to just stop. So then, going there, I faced my emotions, a lot of things. When you're young, you just really can't understand how to deal with your emotions. And so the gym really helped me with that. It gave me my me space, and it was just such an addiction.
Sounds like a beautiful relationship. You're in the gym. So when you chose the words rejection, what is it about you? You said track, was it? Yeah. You going out for track, what happened? What were you told that made you choose the word rejection?
You know what I realized? I realized that the coaches wanted someone who was already skilled. And they basically told me, you didn't cut it. You're not good enough. You didn't make the team. And for me, it was okay, I can get better. But I noticed that they wanted someone, I knew the other athletes. They wanted someone who already had the skills, who was going to get the medals. And that's just how it was. And for me, I knew I wasn't good. I was a horrible runner. I actually hated running. I was so bad at it. But, it was at that moment where it was after school, I needed something for myself, because at a young age, I also started working. So my life really was school and work. And mentally, I needed something for myself. And I found the gym. And the gym gave me that space for me to just be myself, to deal with my emotions, my thoughts, and work on myself. And every day I felt better when I left the gym.
I could say I myself, growing up, I was emotionally unstable. My emotions were very intense. I didn't know how to challenge them. I didn't fully understand them. And exercise was just it was fun for me. I loved the challenge. It was just a positive way for me to channel my emotions. And till this day, people were oh, what are you training for? I'm it's life, therapeutic. So, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Max Your Body. We got Ruby. I just destroyed her name. We got Ruba Ali in the building. Thank you for joining us today. Are you upset because I just ruined your name?
No, not at all. I get called Ruby all the time. Ruby is a nice nickname.
Is it your nickname?
Well, everyone calls me Ruby or Rubes, so I'm used to it.
Well, like I said, we got Ruby in the building. She's joining us today. She's going to share a little bit about her trials and tribulations, how she overcomes them. And hopefully you guys take note. Where are you from?
Originally?
Yeah.
So I'm from Jordan. I was raised in New Jersey, and then I moved to Miami.
Raised in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Miami?
Yeah.
How's life in Jordan?
Jordan, I really didn't spend much time there. I go to visit, but majority of my life has been in New Jersey. So
when we talk about Ruba, your personality, your mindset, is it influenced by Jordan, where you're from, your nationality?
I say it's influenced through parenting and culture and religion. So that can tie into where they're from. But yeah, absolutely. I give my parents a lot of credit for who I am. They set certain rules and boundaries for me growing up, and it's always kept me on the right path, I would like to say. And so if it wasn't for that, for what they have taught me and for what they have shown me, I really wouldn't have the work ethic, the mindset, and strong belief that I have.
Mad respect for you, because I find that family values equals success. You know, oftentimes many of us try to become successful, neglecting family, parents, and also family values. But you find out like you can't escape values. Like you're gonna have to like fix yourself, work on yourself, and accept these values. So good for you. And how did you go from New Jersey to Miami? Why the transition?
Yeah, it was actually it was a recent transition. I mean, when I say recent, I probably say like 4 years ago. I was just in college and I was doing personal training, and I was also doing my online training, and I knew that I'm a firm believer there is no B. You know how people have like a plan A, plan B. Like
you train like there's no B.
There is no B. And that's not just in training, that's in like career. If you want to do something,
relationships.
Yeah, and relationships as well. If you want to do something, if you set a plan B, you're basically saying that there's an option of you failing plan A. And so for me, I had to take myself seriously in my career, and I wanted to pursue doing my like growing my first business, my online business. And I knew I needed the environment for me to be able to really get creative. And Miami, when I visited this place, the nature, the ocean, the walks, just the environment just allowed me to connect with myself. And I felt like I could really perform and execute on what I wanted to here.
Good for you. I think you saw what was valuable in the location, and you made the best out of it, because I was in Miami 2008 for a year before moving to LA, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my time. So I was pretty much wasting time in South Beach. But now that I, more mature and I have more identity, I know what I want to do with my time as far as progression purpose. Whenever I come back home to visit, which is South Florida, Miami, I'm like, this is home. So like I'm definitely moving back within 2-3 years. I'll be by coastal for production purposes in LA. But like you said, what you spoke about South Beach and Miami, I see it.
You said something really interesting. You said you were wasting a lot of time when you were here. And that's something that you have to be very disciplined, because I experienced that as well. When you first moved to Miami, especially South Beach, you're around tourists every day. Everyone's going out. And so you have to
vacation mode.
I put the pressure on myself. I said, listen, you moved from New Jersey. You can't not execute and succeed in why you moved here. And so that's when I became disciplined, and I cut out the distractions and going out and everything. And I spend weekends, nobody even knows this. For the past 2 years, I work every day. It's not just Monday to Friday. If I have to wake up on a Sunday and get something done, I wake up and get it done. You know what I mean? So it's the environment is important, but it's also the mindset that you implement in that environment that is just as important. Yeah.
Wow, powerful. You should write a book.
I get that all
the time. Do you have one?
No, but I would love to. I'd love to. I'm something that's...
Book, podcast, or something.
2021 goals.
You do a lot more talking on your social media than I do, but I think it'd be very valuable for you and your audience if you came out with your own podcast.
A lot of them have said that they would be on your side right now. A lot of them have told me, Ruba, I would love for you to have a podcast, because what they do is screen record my morning stories and listen to it later.
Yeah.
So, it's something that's going to come in the works. It's just managing everything at once when you have a lot going on. I'm a firm believer.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that if you want to execute on something, you have to put your energy into it. And I'm not a halfer. If I'm going to do something, I got to put my all into it.
You seem to be a very passionate individual when you speak, when you work out.
Thank you. I really.
Where does it come from? You're welcome.
Where it comes from. I think that when you truthfully care and you really do have passion towards something, it just is an internal drive that just makes you do it. I think about it, how do I wake up every day and do what I do? And I don't realize that it's abnormal until my family or friends tell me you do know you're nonstop. And in my mind, it's just what I want to do. It's because I want to give my best effort. And when you want to serve others, you know you have to just sacrifice certain things to do so.
Yeah, definitely serving others is a sacrifice. I believe we use the word free lightly, and I'm just throw it around free, but everything's a sacrifice. It's an exchange. Give to receive, you have to give. To give, you have to receive. It's like that circle. So I agree with you. Like, it is a sacrifice. It takes a lot of work, and you're putting in a lot of work. So you went from working out for therapeutic reasons, and now like you're a global name in the fitness industry. How'd that come about? Like,
oh man, okay. Let's try and make a long story short. So when I fell in love with fitness, it was like when I was really, really fell in love with it, I was like 14, 15. And I wanted to learn, I didn't have a coach. How can I actually like better myself? I need to educate. So I became a trainer, a personal trainer at the age of 17. And by law, you can't train until you're 18. But I still just wanted the education early on. So once I was 18, I became a trainer and I started working for corporate. And that's honestly when I knew like it was going to be like my career. Like when I heard the stories of females, like when I would train them, and I say females, it's because as a female myself, I can connect with them on a deeper level than me trying to relate to a male, right? So when I would train them, like I would have some of them cry, some of them telling me like, Ruba, like honestly, you've impacted my life and not just me. Like mothers are telling me I am so much happier and more confident that my kids are even happier around me. And when you realize that you're not just affecting one person, you're affecting, generations to come, it's big. You know, that's big. And so for me, whenever I thought about that, I just wanted to become better and better so I can give them my best. And that's how it evolved. I went from training them in corporate. I eventually had my own studio. And then after that, when I wasn't with my clients, they would say, Ruba, I still need motivation when I'm not around you.
What? So they would call you or text you? Or
no, that's when I made my Instagram. I made my Instagram initially not to like have what it is now.
You don't want to be seen.
No, I made my Instagram and I did like videos of working out. So when they weren't with me, they can try and do those instead of not going to the gym at all. So they would follow those workouts. And as time went on, people just liked the way I trained. It was creative. It was functional. It was different. And it just grew from there. And obviously through time and experience, you learn about business and how to grow it.
I can relate because when I started exercising, it was for therapeutic reasons. Also, for me, exercising is like playtime. I started getting results. People were like, hey, feedback, and also questions about how they should get in shape. So eventually that inspired me to like take it further because I was like, there's a demand, there's a need. And now it made me feel like I have a responsibility to share, because if people are having problems getting their own results, achieving their physical, mental goals, I should share. And that just kept taking me further. So it's a beautiful thing when people ask for help, share feedback, and then it like propels you to step on your toes, become a better version of yourself so you can give more to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. At the end of the day, it's like when you think about what you want to like, the reason why I say this is because my parents always gave me this perspective. When you're older and you're sitting on your chair and say you're 60, 65, when you look back at your life, like what do you want to remember that you left this world with? Like, what is it? And so for me, that's like a really powerful question that it drives you to like really get in tune with your purpose in life and your passion. And when you think about that, it's like, are you going to really let your only one life slip away without you actually doing something with it? And so that's another reason why when you ask me, what is it that makes you so passionate about what you do? It's like when you know how short life is and what can you do to make this world a better place?
You take that very seriously, and your parents sound wise.
Yeah. I was raised with a single mother, and I think that's why I am honestly more dominant and independent. It's because I watched a single mother raise 6 kids on her own with a smile on her face. Not one complaint, no weakness, nothing. She just did it, and she did it so well,
Where does she get her strength from?
She's she has a really strong belief, and she always knows God is with her, and she always knows. Thank you. So for me, it's just being young and seeing my mother go through all of that and still doing her job so well as a mother, as a father, as everything, it was really inspirational for me.
Yeah, women don't get enough credit. They're very powerful, especially when they know they're powerful. So like when it comes to transformation, you know, you working with clients yourself, what's your approach to the transformation fitness-wise?
Love that question. Good question. So I educate all of my clients that fitness, and I was very upfront with them. If you're with me just to attain a physical result, I'm probably not the trainer for you, right? Because, and they realize that over time. I started realizing that fitness is more so, it's a physical, mental, and emotional outlet. And so when my clients would train with me in the private studio that I had, it was more of a therapy session than it was of a training session. There were some days when they came in and just spoke to me about their problems, they vented, and they left feeling so much better.
So you're like a counselor.
So honestly, I didn't know that's what I was, but as I reflected on the experiences and I heard their feedback, and, you know, like these women were so, like, imagine just working, right? And you have these girls coming to you and, you know, they tell you, I really think, Ruba, you were sent from God to me. Like, you don't understand how much you've changed me. And they just start crying. Like, that is, I take that very seriously, you know? And
I can tell.
And so my clients, they understand my philosophy of fitness, and that is, don't do it for the looks. Do it to feel good, and the looks will come. But if you make it a destination of an objective of, oh, I just want a small waist and a big butt, that's cool. You can have that goal.
Short-lived.
But that's not a long-term sustainable goal. At the end of the day, we're all going to age. What matters most is your soul and what's inside of you. So take care of that, and you, like, naturally, you'll just feel better. You'll look better, and it really does come from within.
Wow.
Yeah.
You taking any more clients? I think I might need some coaching. But like Ruba was saying, the transformation is very mental and spiritual. With my experience with clients as well, I realized that a lot of the coaching went with the helping them reset their mindset, helping them become aware of like how destructive their certain things about their mindset was, and pointing out to them and help them readjust things. And that's when the physical aspect starts to change. And I would say that's why my social media presence is, I'm more so interested in motivating and inspiring with words and action versus telling people, here, this is step 1, step 2 as far as workout programs. Because I understand that the motivation and mindset and the motivation is like where it's at, because I can give you like the blueprint. The thing is, you still need motivation to implement and take action. So I'm with you on that. I can relate. 2020 hit us, got us by a surprise. Like, we got a lot of surprises. Like, I know the first lockdown in March in LA, I was like, what's this? Okay, lockdown, cool. How long? It just kept getting extended. So it hurt a lot of people mentally, physically, spiritually, a lot of businesses. How did 2020 affect you, and how did you overcome the obstacles in 2020?
You know, sometimes I can't believe that we're in 2021. It's pretty crazy. But 2020 was very interesting, and I think it was a year for everyone to be tested on how quick they can adapt to their circumstances, right? Like, our lifestyles, everyone changed instantly. And actually, during that time in March, I was in Thailand, and I had like 3 days to get back into the States before I would have been stuck there. And so I got back, and my biggest challenge was not being able to do the one thing that I needed to do every single day, and that was work out. Like, where would I work out? There were no equipment. Everything was out of stock. And so I found a way.
So everything was out of stock in South Florida or Thailand?
No. I made it back to Miami.
Okay.
When I came back to Miami, it was ghost town. I realized it was really serious. And one of my challenges was like not being able to do what your regimen, right? So I was like, you know what? I have to find a solution. So I found a warehouse. I know it sounds old school.
You went hunting.
I found a warehouse, and, you know, I was sweating bullets in there, but it got the job done. You know, it got the job done. I was doing that. I was doing home workouts. I was able to get a few pieces of equipment over time. But, you know, I think that 2020 actually wasn't as bad for me personally, because I chose to see the good out of it. And 2020 led me to my new hobby, which is cycling. I absolutely love cycling. I started cycling 30 miles a day, 50 miles sometimes. And for me, it's like you could look at 2020 as a horrible year, or you can look at it as a year that taught you to adapt. It taught you to find alternatives and taught you to do something different. And that's what I did.
That's great. I like how you said she chose to find a good out of it. And when it comes to obstacles in general, I believe that you have to find the good out of it. And it might, rub some people the wrong way by making such a statement. But the thing is, obstacles are going to come regardless. So what are your options? Are you going to give yourself the option of just being knocked down and staying down? Or are you going to be like, okay, what is this insight? The obstacle just hit me. I'm down, or I'm unhappy. It's insight. And now what's the problem solution? What's the steps to overcome it? And if your mindset is not conditioned to like overcome obstacles or understand that you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hit, and then what comes after mourning or venting is problem solving. And I love how you said finding the good out of it. And
just to point out a few things, I think just quickly speaking about some of the highlights during 2020 is probably the most I've ever seen anyone outside active. Probably the most families have spent time together. Probably the most people have spent time to themselves. And I think some of that is actually necessary. I think it's really important that we have time to slow down in life. And, of course it was hard for everyone, but there is no point, and I believe there's never any good in looking at the glass half empty. Never. What's the point? We're in the situation.
Right. It's like, why dwell in it? Like I said, March 2020 was a surprise to me. I vented for a little bit, and I was like, well, I can't continue to vent. Like, that's not my lifestyle. That's not who I am. So we're taking action. We're finding out ways to like be effective and still be progressive.
Absolutely.
And I recommend that for you guys. Now, with any obstacles you're dealing with right now, past, present, the ones that are going to come tomorrow, you got to accept the fact that that's part of life. And also, hang around people like Ruba that speak about finding the good in obstacles. And it was a wake-up call. And like she said, like we discovered a lot about ourselves, things that we needed to spend more time analyzing, examining, meditating on. And I spent a lot more time with myself that was needed, because I would say like I always wanted to have people around, and sometimes you have the wrong people around. And it hit you in the face, be like, you shouldn't be hanging out with the wrong crowd, because time alone is important. It's priceless. It's needed for you to grow as an individual, a man or a woman. What's the goal for 2021 though?
There are always goals, the first goal is always to continue learning. I think we're all students of life, and to continue to learn about everything. So like reading books, like I just got a new book that I'm reading, 12 Rules to Life. So that's another good book that I'm reading. But some goals that I've set is to execute on my YouTube. I know that's one channel that.
Yeah, you got a voice. You definitely got to capitalize on that.
Yeah, YouTube, setting up my YouTube, setting up my podcast, and continuing to better myself so I can provide more for my business and the women that look up to me. The more that I can help them in any way, the more that I can educate
Men look
myself.
up to you too, though.
Yeah.
You're a very inspiring individual.
Yeah, thank you. The reason why I point out women is because they are my focus, and they are my focus because I have a deep place in my heart where I can relate to them because I've went through their journey. No disrespect to men, but when you have a specific goal in your life and you have a specific group of people that you really want to impact in a certain way, that's why I speak of women so passionately, because they are the ones that actually have pushed me to do what I do, and they give me that drive to continuously be there for them.
Wow. They got a great motivator. And like when it comes to fitness as far as getting in shape or wanting to be a inspiration in the fitness industry, like a woman wants to get into the fitness industry, fitness modeling, what is some advice that you have for women that are getting into it? Like some people are, like I was telling Phil today, some people are intimidated to go to the gym because they're like, well, I'm not in shape yet. What's some advice for women and then people that want to be fitness models?
So if I'm understanding this, like what some advice for women that are intimidated to go to the gym?
Right.
Okay. So, that was actually one thing that I'm grateful I wasn't intimidated by, because
You're not intimidated by much, are you?
No, that's not what it is. It's just that when you tell yourself you're not there for other people, you're there for yourself. It really doesn't matter who's there. So I think that's one thing that you can keep in mind. It's that when you're at the gym, just remember everyone at the gym is there for the same reason you are there. And if they're not, then their opinion doesn't really matter about you, right? So when you're at the gym, just remember that you're there for yourself. Stay in tune with what you're actually doing. If you're focusing on your workout, if you're focusing on your muscles and executing the actual exercise, you won't be too focused about what's around you. You'll be tunnel vision. So
I can vouch for that because I saw Ruba at the gym today. She looked at me like she looked at me like you keep looking at me like I'll call the cops. I'll take you out. Like I'll kill you. I was just like I looked at her and I looked away real fast. I was like, don't hurt me. But she was in the workout. She was in the zone. And when I train, I have the same look on my face. I'm not gonna lie. You just gotta be focused. Like she says, you go there for an objective, execute the execute the objective, and then you're out.
Yeah, exactly. So I want you guys to remember this. When you're in the gym, remember what the purpose and the goal is, right? Everyone is so busy, right? So if you're at the gym and you're so busy, your goal should be to get in there, get your workout in, and get out. So thinking about other people is only going to distract the quality of your workout. So change the way you view it. Instead of going into the gym and being intimidated, oh, someone's looking at me, walk in there. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, I have squats, deadlifts, this. All right, let me focus on the movement so I can actually get the results that I want. So just change that mindset, and you'll see when you go to the gym, you'll enjoy your workouts more, and you'll be more likely to go back because you're not too worried about other people.
You should have joined the military.
I don't know if my mom would be really happy about that.
Has anybody else ever suggest that?
No, but I did want to be a cop. Yeah.
Why didn't you go that route?
Because my family was very against it. Just scared for me.
Man, I think you would have been fine, but I mean,
it led me to where I am. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for not pushing me to go that route.
Yeah, you're still a leader regardless, and you're helping people out, so it's working. So like for female fitness models, I noticed like you portray yourself differently online on social media compared to a lot of other female fitness models. Like if you, what advice would you give to female fitness models that want to be successful for themselves and like for the audience, to be effective as a leader? What advice would you give female fitness models that are trying to step their game up?
Well, I think success is defined differently by each individual. And I think that you need to understand what success means to you. And I also think that you need to know what you want to be in life, right? Like you need to know what your morals, your beliefs, your boundaries, your standards, what is it? Because you can be successful many different ways in life, but is it going to be the cost of something that's important to you? Are you really being true to yourself? So what I would say is, firstly, is really get to know yourself, be true to your identity and how you want the world to see you, not who you think the world would like. Because most people have it reversed, right? It's like they want to be the person that's looked up to, the person that, oh, I want to be like this. No, how about you be who you are, and the world will like it because it's you.
That sounds like some tough love. Is that how you talk to the clients?
You know what? That's how I talk to myself. Because most of the things that I share with you, I tell myself.
First.
I didn't always have this mindset. I used to be on the other side where I thought I needed to be a certain way to help other people. And at the end of the day, that comes with a price. That comes with a price of, not being as content or as happy. And so when I ask myself these questions, that's how you get true with yourself. You won't know until you ask.
I like how I was like, is that what you say to your clients? She's like, that's what I say to myself. And I'm the same way. For a lot of the quotes that I post on my social media, they're definitely targeted, directed towards me first, because it's something I'm dealing with or experiencing. And that's me attempting to practice what I preach first, even though you might be like, oh, this is for the audience. But like you were saying, that's what you say to yourself. You have to like work on like sharpening yourself, edifying yourself. And I think that's a great way to lead.
Thank you. I mean, I know sometimes certain things can sound harsh, but you have to be real with yourself. Like you have to actually amplify the situation as it is and not cover it up just to make yourself feel better. Like if you're out of shape, don't make yourself feel better. Like, oh, it's okay, I'm out of shape. Like, no, like you're not in good shape. Your health is not good. You should take it seriously, because if you do, then you can actually take action to fix it. So that's why I talk sometimes in a certain manner. It's because like you really have to just take it serious. Like if you want it, be serious and you'll see the change.
You're a very serious individual. Are you serious like that for everything and all day? Or like when's the off time?
That's a great question. It's difficult to have off times. I try to catch myself and just like, not be so serious and wind down. But I have my own challenges, and maybe that's one of them that I'm still continuously.
We all do,
on.
right?
Yeah.
You smile a lot. Is it genuine, or is it like a default Joker smile?
I honestly don't even notice when I smile, so I guess it's a genuine one.
We're on the receiving end. Like, what do you like to do with your time other than helping yourself mentally, physically, and also your audience? Like, what do you like to do during the day and like lifestyle?
This might sound a bit crazy, but most of my day is around working towards goals and things that I know like will help others. And so, when people ask me what makes you happy, making other people happy. And so like when I spend my time during the day working, it's not really work. Yeah, sometimes it gets a bit like exhausting, but it just, when you get so many messages about how you've changed someone's life, you enjoy, like you truthfully use that as fuel to continuously do what you do. And so for me, content creation, reading books, going on walks, self-reflection, honestly, learning is really fun for me. I love learning. Even if I go on a walk.
Like food.
Yeah, like, but of course, if you want to talk about like, what do you like to do? Like going on walks, going cycling, like being active is always something that makes me happy. But learning, listening to podcasts or even lectures, those are things I like to do on my free time.
I didn't know there were people out there like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kidding. But I live in LA. I don't meet a lot of people like that actually enjoy doing the simple things in life.
Yeah, of course, I can't forget. I'm a huge foodie. So going to restaurants is a huge thing for me. So like that's the most. You
left that out earlier.
Yeah, I left that out. That's the most I will turn up in Miami, is going to a restaurant, sushi in particular. But honestly, aside from that, it might sound a bit robotic, but my life is usually consistent around my goals and what I want to help others with.
I think that makes sense. If we talk about lifestyle, it's like everything you're doing is attached and serves the purpose of where you want to go and what you're doing. So it makes sense to me, and it should be fun. It shouldn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So like, what's some advice? Because like both men and women are making poor choices with relationship these days. What's some advice you have for women that want to settle with the right man?
Okay, great question. So my advice would be to love yourself first. And I really mean love yourself first. And what I mean by that is understanding who you are, understanding your flaws, what you need to improve on, how you can improve on them. Because once you work on yourself and you think of the characteristics you want from someone else and you're already implementing it, you're going to attract that to you. But if you haven't even identified your own flaws, your own poor habits, and you don't love yourself and you're not confident, it's going to be very difficult to be in a relationship and expect someone else to love you if you don't love yourself. So definitely the first thing is to love yourself and to work on yourself. It's okay to be alone at times. I know it's hard, but during that time, you're going to grow into such a different person that when you meet that person that you want, you're going to realize that you already have those traits within you.
So like, what's your thoughts on marriage? Do you want to be married with kids someday? Or?
Of course. I mean, having a family is definitely something I would want to do. Is it something I would want to do at this particular moment? Not necessarily.
What are you waiting for?
I think
it's 2021.
I think that I feel that at this stage of my life, I have a lot more learning and self-development to do. And hopefully when the time is right, you never know, it's just going to happen.
You know what? I think it's not always easy to tell yourself and be honest truthful with the fact that you have things you need to work on. Like I myself have things to work on. It's like every time I think I've learned something when it comes to identity, being a man, being a better boyfriend or whatever. I find that there's more to learn. It's like, sheesh, it doesn't stop. But I think it's important to acknowledge that and also, work on it. Start sharpening your tools, your mind, your body, your emotions, the way you problem solve, the way you view yourself and view women, the way you treat yourself and treat them. So it's very powerful that you said that.
Secondly, after you love yourself, you really need to pick the man for who he is and think of the future of who's going to be raising your kids if you want to have kids, because sometimes we get so caught up with the person, their looks, and the present moment of going out that you overlook the person who you're going to have to go through ups and downs with, because a relationship is not a fairy tale. Like, marriage is not easy. And so you really need to pick that person that has the characteristics, patience, loyalty, trust, passionate. You really need to understand who you are with, because when it comes to those moments in life where it gets hard, you need to know that you have a ride or die with you. You need to know you have someone who respects and values you.
Great advice. When it comes to relationships, social media could be very toxic. What's some advice or you can share when it comes to social media? How you handle yourself on social media and like filter the BS? Like,
social media there's good and there's bad to it, but at the end of the day, like, social media I say it's the highlight of everyone's life. No one's gonna put out their problems in their relationships. They're gonna put up the best picture with all the flowers and all the roses and all the gifts, the cars. And so you just have to remind yourself, like, don't compare your life to someone else's, because the fact is most people are not sharing their struggles. They're not sharing their problems. And so you really never know what's on the other side. I think that being happy and grateful with what you have is the true result of happiness. And I think that the thief of happiness is comparison. So definitely make sure that when you're on social media, you're not being too consumed in what others have, and you're just grateful for what you have and what you're working towards.
So I think that's great advice. What steps? Because advice is great, and then like what are the steps that you take or you took to live by those words?
So to be grateful and to remind myself. I love that question. Thank you for asking, because I know words are just words until you implement it into action. So yeah. So something I highly recommend is waking up with gratitude. And how do you do that? You can wake up and simply write three things that you're grateful for, and it can't be anything tangible. So I wake up every single morning, I force myself to sit down, and I actually write 10 things. And I write 10 things, and I try and make it different every day of things that I'm grateful for. There is no way you're going to have a bad day when you wake up and write things you're grateful for. It's very difficult, honestly. So that is one tool that I like to do. A second thing I like to do to wake up and have that mindset is meditation. So I'm not an expert at this, so I'm not going to make myself seem to be, but I do a 5 to 10 minute timer. I started with 5 minutes. I've worked my way up to 10 minutes. I put a 10-minute timer, and I'm just on the floor, just quiet. I'm actually analyzing my thoughts. Whatever thoughts come to me, I'm not labeling them as bad or negative. I'm like, okay, this is a thought. Cool. Get back to just like your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your heartbeat. And by the time I know 10 minutes is over, I carry on with my day.
Oh, you sound like you're in control.
I try to be. I mean, this is something I'm practicing. I'm not perfect at it, but this is something I think that if it's a hard time for you to wake up, you feel like you're always consumed in social media, you feel like you just aren't waking up with energy, maybe you need to slow down a little bit. Maybe you need to just be in tune with yourself. Take some time to just be grateful for what you have. Take some time to just like connect with yourself and your thoughts and be conscious in the moment. And your day will be different. I guarantee it.
You said you picked up cycling or bike riding.
Yes.
And is that therapeutic, or what do you like about that?
Oh man. I don't even know. It's just the challenge. Like when you're outdoors, like I love working out, but when you're working out outdoors, and of course in Miami, I start from South Beach, I go through Brickell, and then I go to Key Biscayne and
Key West.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Key West.
It's 30 miles, right? From South Beach?
Oh, I don't know. I have to look it up.
Yeah, well, Key Biscayne Beach is that Key West?
No, I think it's different.
No?
Right, Phil? Key Biscayne? Yeah, I think it's different.
Okay, so I don't know.
I was making a joke and you're like, yeah.
Okay, I don't, you know what? Listen, I'm not too familiar with the area, okay? But I do go to Key Biscayne all the way down, and it's about 30 miles. Sometimes I do 40 to 50, depends on the day. And so for me, it's the challenge of not being good at something because I was so bad at it. And I realized, like, as time went on, I would look at my speed and how fast I would get, like, the 20 miles or what my goal was for the day. And so having nature, being around that, I'm a huge instrumental music listener. And so connecting that with riding my bike on the road.
You got some nice beats. I heard some good music in your story or your workout videos.
Thank you. I actually connect to instrumental beats very well. And so sometimes when I listen to that, majority of the time actually, and I'm just riding, it just is such a good frequency and pace for me to challenge myself. And so I can't really explain the feeling for you. It's like something like no other. It's just a huge challenge for me. And I enjoy it.
You found something wonderful. I also enjoy riding bikes or bike riding, cycling.
Yeah. Huge respect.
I go too fast and usually end up
burning out.
No, burning out or falling off, avoiding traffic.
Do you have the clippers?
The clippers.
The clippers for the bike?
Oh, I don't. I actually almost ran into somebody on the sidewalk and I had to throw myself off one time.
Yeah. So those are I
really get excited on the bikes.
Yeah. No, I had to learn how to use those clippers, and for sure I've had a few where I fell off.
The clippers, are you talking about like it hooks? Your shoes hook?
The shoes hook to the...
Oh, so once you're on there, you're on there.
Yeah. So you don't want to stop. Like you want to avoid going into the city. You want to just go straight on the highway and get your miles.
What's your speed when you're...
What's my speed?
Yeah,
so
like
the fastest I've ever went was 30 miles per hour, but that was going downhill. The fastest I went, like in regular pace, was about 21 miles per hour. Yeah, and that's average pace for the 20 miles.
Would you say you're an adrenaline junkie?
Yeah, for sure. When I work out, I leave with such a natural high that it is the reason why I like
can see
to
people
wake
moving
up.
out the way, like at the gym when you come through.
Oh, really? I don't even notice. I don't even notice who's at the gym when I'm there because I am there. And it is just my time to just tune in.
With the blinders on.
I love it. I really do. And I love the pain too. Like I love putting myself through that. Like it's great.
Challenge is I don't know, it's stimulating. It's hard, it's challenging, but the thing is that it's making you better and that you're gonna overcome it eventually. So
yeah.
I feel you on that. What would you say your purpose is in life? My
purpose in life. I think my purpose or anyone's purpose in life is to serve others, and for me it's to use I truthfully,
I don't meet a lot of people that feel the same way.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I think that we all are here and we're here to make this world a better place, to help one another, and that's why one of my mantras is we rise by lifting others. And I believe that together, when we all put in our good foot and actually support each other, we use our experiences, and you have this community of energy and everyone has the same energy, you just rise. And, like life is difficult. Why go through life alone when you have people? People are made to be together, right? Like man was not put on earth alone, right? What?
Good for you.
Yeah. So for me, I truly believe that my purpose is to serve others in the best of my abilities. And right now and what I'm doing, maybe later on in my life, I'll be at a different stage. I'll be doing something else, but I know the goal will always be to serve others.
That's powerful. Very inspiring. I'm happy for you. That's a beautiful place to be in.
Thank you.
Like find your purpose, and like, regardless of, like you said, where you're going to be at, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be serving, and it's therapeutic, it's fulfilling, and people on the receiving end are blessed by it.
Yeah, most people don't even know this, but people see my Instagram, they see like all of the positive energy, like, oh, you know what I mean? They don't even know like 80% of those days are like challenges. But what gets me out of bed is remembering how good it feels for me to get that message like, hey, I'm going through depression and your words hit me and thank you. Like really, like that gets me out of bed. And they don't realize like they are the drive for me to keep going. Like they really are. And I'm just grateful to even have that connection and ability to help people without even meeting them.
I think it's great that you're so humble, because you're always going to grow opportunities. People are always going to help you become a better version of yourself, because you're conditioned to receive the energy. And I've definitely been in bed and gotten some inspirational feedback from my followers, and I was like, oh, time to go do what I do, because it's needed. And also I need the feedback as well, because I'm one person and I have thousands of followers, so that's a lot more energy coming to me. They might be like, oh, Max, inspiring, but it's like, no, but you guys are powerful individuals too. So thank you for the feedback and the support. And that's how I got here, because before I was like, oh, I'm just going to do bicep curls for me. And then I got bored real quick. And serving others is like a driving force.
Absolutely.
So I'm with you on that. What do you plan to do the rest of the day other than work out?
Well, when I leave working out, I go back and I work on the things that I'm passionate about.
Like you said.
Because it's my playtime. So when I go back, I'm going to be working on some exciting
There's
programs.
things to do.
Yeah, I just launched my app. So there's this is a new year, so I'm constantly updating new programs and giving them things to look forward to. So like like your workout program isn't the same after 4 to 6 weeks, right? You need to continuously change it. And so I'm constantly working on programs and updating my app and working on social media, things like that. So it's very time consuming, but it needs to be done, and we all have 24 hours in a day. It's like how you spend it.
Prioritize.
Yeah.
And like with friendships, do you have a lot of friends? How do you choose your friends, and what advice could you give the audience about selecting friends and being a friend?
Yeah, I've been
loaded question.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's a great question, because it's actually one of the things that is so imperative for your success. Like, we've heard this before. Show me who your 5 friends are, and I'll tell you who you are, right? It's so true. I've actually never really had that many friends. And growing up, actually, when I was like in college, that's when I really hit me, where I wasn't going to surround myself with anyone who wasn't going to have the energy or benefit that I was looking for in myself, right? So like if it was just people who just wanted to gossip and go out and waste time, I didn't want anything to do with that. And moving to Miami, it was actually so strange for my family, because they know I don't go out. But I moved here because of, like I said, like nature, different environment, and I was just alone. And
I love
focused.
that about South Florida, the nature.
Yeah. So I think that looking at your friends and being selective it's hard, because you have to be lonely. Like I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't lonely. Like I don't have friends down here. Of course I know people, but do I go out? Not really. No.
I think it's important to be honest about that, because if we're not honest about that, you definitely force things. I've forced relationships in the past because I was lonely. But maybe I should have been lonely. It was a good time to work on myself.
I love that you say that. Yes. It was, I'm grateful for family, because there are moments when you are lonely, like surround yourself and hear a voice, FaceTime your family. Like just don't make yourself available for people who won't make themselves available to you when it's not convenient for them. Like you really need to be wise enough to identify the people that are around you and know whether they're good for you or not. No one is going to tell you but you. Like if you can't tell the difference, then that's something you need to work on individually. And when you do start pointing out the people that don't belong in your life, and you start making certain decisions that might be difficult, you're going to notice the difference instantly, like night and day.
You just said a mouthful. And wow. I wanted to do a podcast show, Ruba, but I got lessons, I got gems, jewels, lots of inspiration from you, and we appreciate it, guys. Ruba Ali, I'm sure you know who she is. If not, now you do. I'm gonna put the links to her social media and her links in the description, so you can connect with her. If you guys have any questions or anything else you'd like us to talk about the next time we connect, drop it down below in the comment. Don't forget to subscribe. What's your YouTube?
My YouTube is Ruba Ali.
Because I know you're editing something that you just dropped, or you're going to drop soon.
Yeah, my first ever follow along Ab's video of 2021. Get ready. Yeah.
So definitely, guys, tune in for that. But thank you for joining us on another episode of Max Your Mind. I was gonna say Max Your Body. I'm tripping. Till next time, guys. Love you. Ruba.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Bye.